Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and this coming weekend, I'll be the voice of the automator powered by Gandrew Performance Wisconsin wingless sprint cars on Saturday night up at the Plymouth Dirt Track. And on Saturday night up there, we will also have the MSA 360s as well as the Grand Nationals and the B Mods. That's on Saturday night up at the Plymouth Dirt Track. Also want to thank B&L Office Furniture, Scott Carpenter, that supplies us with this great in-studio, home studio, and we appreciate that. And Scott will be racing this coming Monday up at the Wilmot Raceway, along with the the World of Outlaw late models. They'll be coming in after 2 days at Fairbury, Illinois. They'll be at Fairbury tomorrow night, Friday night, and Saturday night. They have Sunday off, and then they'll be making the trip down to Wilmot, along with the modifieds and the street stocks have been added to the program on Monday night at the Wilmot Raceway. Also want to thank Game Day Men's Health of Libertyville and soon to come to Kenosha. We'll let you know when they have that big grand opening. They're planning on having a lot of race cars come out when they open up that facility in Kenosha. Also, thanks to Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars. The IRA is going to have a 3-day weekend. This weekend is scheduled anyway. Friday night, tomorrow night, they'll be at Mississippi Valley Speedway. Also on Friday night at Beaver Dam Raceway will be the Badger Midgets and the Legends. The Legends, day number 1 of a $10,000 to win weekend. A big Legend special at Beaver Dam during its final season. Then on Saturday night, the IRA 410 sprint cars go back to Beaver Dam, along with the Badger Midgets and the Legends. And then on Sunday night, the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw sprint cars will be up at Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin for the Brian Gapinski Memorial, along with the Badger Midgets. So a big weekend of a lot of racing action for the area and for sprint car fans, midget fans, legend fans, you name it. They're all racing this coming weekend somewhere. Also want to thank Great Lakes Dragaway. We'll be talking to John shortly. He's down in Missouri getting ready to race and trying to stay out of the heat. The heat we had yesterday up in this area, well, it's down in Missouri now, and he's trying to stay cool. And we'll be talking to John very shortly. And also Pink Roofing. I'll tell you, with all these storms going through, if you've had storm damage to your roof, contact our friends at Pink Roofing. Well, we're going to now bring in our first guest of the evening, Butch and Jan Hafman. We had them on briefly last week, and we want to give them a little more time this week. Had a race car driver who told us a lot about his journey and making the World of Outlaw feature at Wilmot earlier, about a week before that. But we want to welcome Butch and Jan once again to the program, and congratulations once again on being inducted into the Plymouth Dirt Track Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago now. And I just rattled off a number of events that are coming up this weekend. Where am I going to see you guys? You guys work at a lot of different racetracks for a lot of different series, both asphalt and dirt. What's your itinerary like this weekend?
Well, Saturday we will be at Plymouth, so we'll see ya. And then Sunday is Slinger.
All righty. No place Friday?
Nope.
Not so far yet, right?
Right.
Well, again, congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And at about 25 after 6, in about a half hour or a little less, we're going to have Roger Miller, who's going to give us the class of 2025 that's going to be inducted into the Southeastern Wisconsin sprint car, or not sprint car, but the Southeastern Wisconsin Hall of Fame, short track Hall of Fame. That'll be taking place sometime in November. But they announced the class yesterday, and we're not going to say anything till Roger gets on. But Roger's going to come on with us about the bottom of the hour. But tell us what it was like when you guys got notified that you were making the Plymouth Hall of Fame. And we'll start with Jan first.
Well, I was pretty excited. I mean, this is the first major award that through racing that I ever got. I just really felt honored because way back when Eastern was there, I was the first woman ever voted on that board. Prior to that, I believe the club was going about 40 years, and they never had a woman involved on the board. So, I thought it was pretty cool.
And Butch, what about you? What did you think when who got notified first? Who got the phone call first?
Actually, both of us did. We were both home here. Yes.
Yeah, we both found out the same time.
Right.
Okay. Well, Butch, your reaction then?
I think it's pretty cool because it took Janet like 35 years. It took me 50 years to get honored, But I'm pretty amazed, because Saturday when we were getting inducted, plus I raced my vintage mod with the group, and I wanted the heat and the feature. And people from years back were up there, and they couldn't believe it. Here I am 50 years later accepting this award. It's pretty neat.
And you mentioned the vintage mod. Tell the folks a little bit about that car and a little bit of its history and where you might run it between now and when the snow flies in 2025.
Well, it's originally built by Kenny Beerzer and Rick Clemency when Kenny Beerzer was building them in Tizer chassis. He was actually building sprint car chassis along with our modifieds, and actually Big Al Schmidt, he built a sprint car for him, and mine is kind of like a copycat of his sprint car chassis. And Kenny converted that kind of a chassis into a modified, and Gary Dye and mine were the last two cars that Kenny Beerzer built, and it's a pretty amazing car. It sat in the corner for many years, and I thought I'd bring it out this year for my anniversary, and then because I got being honored at Plymouth, I thought I'd run that car. And the vintage group, they kind of run all different kind of tracks, like August 1st, right, Janet?
Yeah.
August 1st, I'm up at Seymour. And then around August 15th, my favorite track now, I like running it at Chilton with the vintage group.
So you still got a couple of times that you're going to run it. Actually, just checking in a guy that you guys know a lot about because he's one of the voices there at Plymouth. So I'll be looking forward to working with him on Saturday. Ray Underwood is tuned in right now. And Ray now calls the races up there at Plymouth along with George Bowman. And I like working with both of those guys. I'll be looking forward to that on Saturday up there at Plymouth. But now, Jan, Butch is talking about his racing career and driving and all that. Have you ever driven?
I tried, at the time, our late models were called Sportsmen, and I tried that once, and I can't do it, so I'll leave the driving to him.
And now, Butch, for a while, your son Billy was also doing some racing. Is he still racing now, or is he kind of decided to hang it up?
He kind of helps out certain teams up there, good friends of his. So he actually turns the wrenches on a couple teams up at Plymouth, and he really kind of enjoys that because and I know, Mike, the racing world is so expensive nowadays. It's too bad, It costs a lot of money to race.
That's for sure. And now the kind of car that you have, a lot of people say, well, those are the old style Eastern cars, or
right.
Down by Wilmot, they were the Modified Racing Association, the MRA cars. But in reality, some of those cars were the early forerunners of the IRA. Back when the IRA began, those guys were running IRA. They were basically IRA cars, as Jack at Trackside Biddison always called them, the supers of the 70s. And they gradually developed and became, full-fledged sprint cars, which they are today.
Correct. Back then, I actually ran against a lot of them guys, and it was really fun running with that guy. Learned a lot, and then Plymouth slowly started getting more into the super. Then at the end, we call them the super wing modifieds. And then at times when Wilmot had the modifieds, we just take our wings off and came down there and run. I did very well down there. I love running down at Wilmot.
Now,
back in the old days, yes.
Some drivers, and I guess I'll clean it up a little bit. Jack Hewitt used to always say that if you put a wing on a race car or sprint car, it makes a race car driver out of and you can fill in the blank. What about you? Do you prefer to run with the wing or without the wing? Do you definitely feel that one makes you a better driver than another, or one challenges you more?
I think the wing, you can drive the car more harder into the corner, where if you took the wing off, you have to change quite a bit of setup on the car. Actually, a good guy, who helped me a lot was Tim Cox. When I came down to Wilmot, I kind of struggled on there, and he was a good friend. We met at car shows, and he said, "But you do this and do that," and I couldn't believe it. Just a few things you could really run down at Wilmot, and Tim was a very good guy.
Well, Tim is still doing pretty well down at Wilmot. He's running the wingless cars. I think we're going to see him Saturday at Plymouth, but I don't know for sure, because tomorrow night he's resurrecting his late model driving, and he's going to drive a super late model in the Howie Layton Memorial at Madison tomorrow night.
Wow.
So, he was trying to get it ready to run Jefferson a week ago or so. He's never driven at Jefferson, which is surprising. It's kind of like me in announcing. I've announced just about everywhere. I've never been to Jefferson. So,
same here. Yeah, I've never been either.
So, maybe we're going to have to take a road trip to Jefferson one of these days, and and who knows? Maybe Tim will be racing. But
correct.
He's, like I say, he last time I saw the point standings at Wilmot in the weekly wingless points for the track, he was leading, and I know he's up there in the battle even for the Wisconsin wingless sprints, the traveling series. So he's still getting around. And still doing a lot of racing. He's 64-ish, I think, somewhere's in that neighborhood.
Mm.
And still driving a race car like he was 20. So, we just got a couple minutes left here. What would you guys advise to somebody who wants to get into racing? Butch, you kind of mentioned and you alluded to it today. It's a lot more expensive than 50 years ago when you first got going. But you guys are both still involved and still show your love of the sport because you're involved in doing things at the tracks. And Jan, we'll go with you first. What would your advice be to somebody that wants to be around the sport but can't quite afford to get into the driving end?
Well, like us, I know, like Slinger, and I'm sure Plymouth, if you'd want to work at a track, that's a great experience. I mean, you learn the ropes basically, be it scoring or, how every division runs. Do they go by passing points? Is it point average? It's, there is a lot to learn, as far as the car aspect. Maybe get on a pit crew, there's always something to learn on a car, I'm sure. I'm still learning stuff. Billy was talking to me when was that? You were at Gravity. We were up at Chilton last Friday night, and the car was handling terrible. And he's telling me, check this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't have a notepad here. Don't rattle off the stuff off so quick. So, yeah. So it's, there's ways of getting involved. I mean,
That's for sure. And Butch, getting started in racing and driving a car, and it's a lot different when you're on as they say, the other side of the fence. Now you're an official. You help with the wingless cars for the IRA. You help with the 410s with the IRA. You've been down at Wilmot and helped out on shows down there. You even got to work a little on when the World of Outlaws were there a couple weeks ago. And I think that's kind of neat. I mean, you do see a lot of different ways of doing things. And even, Jan just mentioned, sometimes you use point average, sometimes you use points, sometimes you use passing points, sometimes you use qualifying, sometimes you don't use qualifying. It's just about every class that you find uses a different way to race. What's your favorite way to race, Butch? What type of lineup do you like?
Like qualifying?
I like qualifying. Like when Steve's up there, and Steve Sinclair, that's a wonderful guy. It's what he does with IRA. It's amazing. But it's funny how he comes up to Plymouth and he says he texts us and he says, Butchie and Janet, I want you guys up there early. Take care of checking in cars already, and I really learned a lot working with Steve, But Plymouth, all the years I was a corner worker. Same with Slinger. I pretty much did everything at Slinger, but Plymouth too. I pretty much so involved. Like a driver comes down and complains about something, and usually I got an answer for him, and I don't have to call the tower and pester them, And then they walk away a little mad. They come back. God darn it, Butchie, you're all right,
Well, I got to ask you this, before we let you go.
Okay.
You said you've done a lot of different positions. Have you flagged?
Yes, I did. Okay. Down at Slinger, and then one time Roger let me wave the green flag up at Chilton. That was that's a long time ago.
Okay. And then I got to ask you this, though. Have you ever announced?
That I did not. I'll leave that to the professionals like you and Ray Underwood and the guys that are very good at it.
Maybe Ray and I can work something out. We'll see what happens come Saturday. Don't be surprised I get a little nervous. Walk up and hand you a microphone.
I get a little nervous on that.
All right. Well, it's always great visiting with you guys. You are really good friends.
Right.
And we enjoy seeing you. Kathy and I enjoy seeing you. She always says, "Is Butch and Jan going to be there?" And when I say yes, she gets upset if we leave and we haven't said goodbye.
I know
she's coming up Saturday. And,
okay.
And actually, we may need one of you to fill in and drive the Black Knight, the IRA pace truck on Saturday night.
Okay.
So
I did that too, Mike.
Okay, well then you could probably jump in there and handle it. So we'll talk. We'll talk between now and Saturday or on Saturday. And Kathy's going to be with me on Saturday too. So we'll look forward to seeing you.
Okay.
All righty.
Take care. God bless. Thanks a lot, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye. Again, that was Butch and Jan Hafman. And coming up in our next segment, we're going to talk with John Reidenbach, who is from Great Lakes Dragaway. But we want to thank Fox Lake Harbor, Force One Performance Parts, the Hunt Club of Richmond, Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts of the Midwest, Bodycraft, Mark and Tony Maglio, and MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd, that help support our program. And we are now going to get him on the phone line here. He's in Missouri. I spoke with him just a little bit ago, and he said it was very warm down in Missouri where he was at. But we're going to get John on the phone here shortly. We appreciate you hanging in there with us. And I'm going to set this right here. I'm going to put this on speaker.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, John. Welcome to the program. And I've told folks that you're roasting and a little toasty down there in Missouri. And we talked earlier about where you're at, but fill our viewers and listeners in a little bit about where John's at tonight.
It's Skelton Dragway, Skelton Raceway Park. Used to be Jeffers Motorsports Sports Park in Sykeston, Missouri. They have an 8th mile track, and they're doing a nostalgia race called the Boot Heel Drags. So we'll be racing here Friday and Saturday. I'll be racing here Friday and Saturday, and Sunday I'm thinking about going down to this George Race Wildcat track, which is down in Paragould, Arkansas. They have another nostalgia event going on there, and it's like going back to 1962. I guess that track is real old school. Everybody told me you just got to go down there one time and check it out. So I'm going to go down there and check it out, I guess, with a few of our Bruce City Gasser members we have here.
There you go. And any chance our good friend from Lake County Hose and Equipment, one of our supporters of the program here, Bill Fusting, did he make the trip down there, or did he stay home?
I think he stayed home. I don't see his big rig down here yet, but yeah, I think he stayed home this weekend.
All righty. Well, Great Lakes Dragway is always a source and a place for folks to go and have some fun and a lot of family entertainment. Still closed on Monday, still Wednesday night, ladies' night, where ladies get in free. They also get to race for free, and the Battle of the Sexes going on. Can you give us a little update on, first of all, on how ladies' night is going, and with their next one, of course, being this coming Wednesday?
Yeah, well, ladies' night is actually going pretty good now for the ladies. They actually, Kristen, she has won, I think, 2 or 3 nights for the women, and she actually won the Battle of the Sexes last night. So she's doing real well. I think it's getting pretty close as far as between the men and the women who's in the lead. I think the women might have the lead now, but it's going full force there, and she's doing a really good job at doing that. And also she races in the Summit Super Series bracket racing. She's doing good at that also. So she's like I said, the women got really good reaction times, so she's doing real well.
Well,
pretty good.
I know when we spoke earlier, you said it's quite warm down there in Missouri. I know it was starting to get that way when Kathy and I were in Branson last week, and they were forecasting that it was going to get like triple digits before the heat index. And we did drive by, you talk about racetracks, we drove by a track in Lebanon, Missouri, small little oval track that we understand Greg McCarnes used to run it for a couple of years, and they still do have a couple of specials there from time to time. But it was about probably from here 8-ish hours, right in that neighborhood. How far down are you?
From my house, it was 470 miles.
Little bit of a trek.
Yeah, a little bit of a haul, and it is warm here. I think the air temperature was like 92, 93, and the dew point was 77, so it's warm. But the last time I was here 2 years ago, it was actually 104 degrees air temperature with the humidities up in that low, high 70s, low 80s, so it was even worse last time I was here. But my car's always hot when you're inside. It's black, and you got your 5-layer fire suit on and everything, so it really doesn't make too much of a difference to me when I'm in the car. It's hot every time I get in that thing. But the track conditions, I know last time we were here, the track temperature was like 155 degrees, which is a little bit too much. It gets a little bit greasy, but we're out here just to support the guys that put on the race and have some fun. And like I say, we're kind of looking forward going down to this George Ray's Wildcat track just to say we did it and went there. So it's kind of something different.
Well, you know, John Gibson, the voice of the World of Outlaws, he keeps track of all the different racetracks he's been to throughout his career, not only as an announcer and working for the World of Outlaws, but also as a fan. And I think when we had him on a couple of weeks ago, I think he was at near 600 tracks, something like that. It was some unbelievable number. Do you keep track of how many tracks you've been to, and do you have a number?
You know, I've been going to different ones. I haven't actually kept track. I've been have to look at the other ET slips that's got all the names on there. But we try to hit different tracks, and it's fun. You know, something different. Get out there and try some different tracks and see what they're like. And it's hard to. What I really like I say, I've said it before about Great Lakes Dragway. What's really nice is when they have how they have their return road for the cars right in front of the main grandstand, so the spectators can see the cars up close and personal and see the drivers. It's really neat. A lot of tracks are not like that, and they're really missing something. Not by not doing that. It's makes it so much nicer for the spectators.
That's for sure. Well, and one thing I want to mention is, Hartnell Chevrolet, we had planned on having a motorsports and custom car show on August 9th, Saturday. There's just a number of events regarding custom cars that are in the area that day, including a huge one in downtown Union Grove, which is not that far from Hartnell Chevrolet and Culver's Custard of Paddock Lake. So we've canceled that event on August 9th. We're going to reschedule sometime in the fall, be watching and listening for a date. And actually, John, when you get back up this way, we need to talk, offline and take a look at Great Lakes schedule and the Brew City Gasser schedule and see if we can come up with a good date that'll be good for everybody and have a big event there at Hartnell Chevrolet.
Sure. Yeah, like you see, if anybody's gotten any close to Kenosha this week, it's with their AMC Nationals. There's the town is overrun with a bunch of AMCs and Ramblers and stuff, and that's what we got going on this Friday or Saturday and Sunday. We got the AMC Mopar Fest out there, and there's some of them that were out there testing last night, a few of the guys.
So that's the big event this coming weekend at Great Lakes Dragway?
Yep, that's the big one coming up this weekend. And there's all you got to do is go downtown Kenosha or go around town during the week here. Go out down there tomorrow and you'll see a bunch of AMC cars down by Kennedy Drive. I think they have their big show on the weekend also Saturday.
Yeah, and a lot of those cars, for you youngins out there that aren't quite as old as John and I, a lot of these cars were originally built in Kenosha years ago, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, the majority of them were built here. That here in Milwaukee had the body plant that was up there, shipped the bodies down here to Kenosha and assembled them. And yeah, there was a lot going on. I remember what they said right before they shut the plant down in '88. There was 5,500 workers there. It was a huge place. Yeah. I started there with working for American Motors. Yeah, there was a lot of people for sure.
Yeah, well, and Jimmy Utek, who raced at Wilmot in a modified and a sprint car over the years, he's got a beautiful looking AMC. Ironically enough, he had a picture on Facebook of it the other day, and there's a beautiful mural somewhere in Kenosha, and his car was used as the model car that is in the mural. And so he parked his car next to the mural, and it's really kind of cool to see how his car is identical to the car that's in the mural.
Yeah. I'm good friends with Jimmy. In fact, I sold him my '67 Nova back in 1985, and I worked next to him for quite a few years in the shop. He was in the tin shop, and I was in the truck repair shop, so I know him and his dad and his brothers real well. He's that Scrambler. He's got that, it's a SC Rambler Scrambler. There's like 1,512 of those that were built in 1969. And he's got one of them, and one of my buddies that lives down the street from me, he's got another one. They're pretty neat, rare cars.
Well, that's great. That's great. So, well, we're going to let you rest up some more, and we wish you well this weekend. We'll be looking forward to a report next Thursday night on how you fared in Missouri and in Arkansas. And safe travels to you. And again, folks that want information about what's happening at Great Lakes Dragway, we are getting a few little rain showers popping up tonight, so I don't think it's going to prevent them from racing completely. I don't think it's going to be that kind of a deluge. But if folks need information again, where do they go, and where does Randy always answer his phone, John?
Well, you can. I'm going to give you a couple different phone numbers this time. There's Randy will answer this one too. This is a 262-302-2138. But they also have a thing. If you want to get text messages from Great Lakes Dragway, you can text the word "start" in capital letters to 262-394-8392, and they'll send you announcements via text message what's going on. And also Facebook is Great Lakes Dragway on their Facebook page. If you go to Great Lakes Dragway, that's usually updated, and you can see a lot of information on there, which is pretty good. Good place to get more up to the minute type stuff.
Okay, sounds great. Well, hopefully Mother Nature cooperates this weekend because there's a lot of racing going on. Great Lakes Dragway, like I said, Wilmot's off until Monday when they have the World of Outlaw late models. But, the IRA is all over the place with the 410 sprints, and I'll be with the wingless up there at Plymouth. And plus, we got 2 county fairs going on here, John. Lake County Fair is going on, started last night and goes till Sunday. Ray Underwood, we were just mentioning him. He called the Demolition Derby last night up there at Lake County. And the Racine County Fair just started yesterday, too. I think they got Demo Derby on Sunday, I think. And Lake County's got motocross, and I think they got a Demo Derby, again, another Demo Derby maybe tomorrow. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure. So, again, John, appreciate your reports as always. Wish you safe travels as you make your way back home, and stay healthy, drink lots of fluids, and good luck this weekend.
Will do. Yeah, I drank a couple of gallons of water already, and we're going to be going through a lot of water this weekend for sure.
There you go. Thanks again, John. Take care. God bless.
Nice talking to you, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was John Reidenbach joining us from Great Lakes Dragway. Always enjoy getting a great report from him. And our next segment, actually, first of all, we want to thank Lake County Hose and Equipment, Bill Fusting, Goodwin Performance, Hartnell Chevrolet, Culvers of Paddock Lake, and Jack's Helmets, Jack Eschbach, who's going to join us very shortly. Also want to thank 5-Star Race Car Bodies, Carl and Corey Schultz and Daniel Sanchez. Impressions Count here in town. Nikki Nielsen, if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or rent a home, contact Nikki Nielsen on Facebook. She's a real estate agent in Lake County. And People Architectural Group, where they don't build buildings, they build people. And they are now offering services in payroll. They have just added that opportunity. So contact Sarah Missiel at People Architectural Group in Mundelein for more information. And we are now going to bring Jack in. We had hoped to have Roger Miller joining us, but he hasn't yet.
I am.
So
I'm here.
I'm here. Oh, there he is. I didn't get the memo that he was here.
I've been here for 20 minutes, and John, like last time, took all my time. Thanks,
well, welcome, Roger. Welcome to the program. And first of all, you've got the familiar shirt on there, the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. I almost wore mine tonight, but
you should have.
Then everybody would have said we were twins or something. And
that'd never happen, Mike. You have more hair than I do.
There you go. Well, we know that it was announced yesterday on Facebook and that, but we want you to give it to all of our viewers and listeners, the class of 2025 for the Hall of Fame.
Okay, we have this is no particular order, just the way I have written down. Brad Dahmer, the Bullet, out of Sheboygan. Of course, many people know that he raced at Slinger, Calumet County, the Milwaukee Mile, Lake Geneva, and Plymouth. Raced from 91 to 13. Raced at 15 different tracks outside the recognized area. Started Bulletproof Chassis in 03, and he still has a parts wagon. He did have a parts wagon at Chilton and at Plymouth for a very long time. And then we have the unforgettable Harry Neitzel. Many nights spent talking to Harry. From the early 60s, began a racing journey. He supported racing from MSC, EWSCA, the MSA, the IRA, and other tracks throughout Wisconsin. He supplied parts from his R&H racing trailer for all that time. His influence on so many drivers would never be forgotten. Harry built race cars, mentored young drivers all the time, and helped them develop and to improve their skills. And then we have Kenny Richards. He raced in the 90s, current, the IMCA stock cars, IMCA Sport Mod, Street Stocks, Grand National, 17 track champions, and 65 feature wins that he was recognized for. Accomplished chassis builder. His chassis probably have won hundreds, if not thousands, of features and many, many championships over the years. And then we got Donnie Scheffler, a second all-time feature wins at Hales Corner Speedway with 28, 96 top fives. Wilmot Modifieds, you probably were announcing all those years, sportsman champion at Hales and modified champion at Beaver Dam. And then last but not least, Mr. Ted Dolan, 17 features, 6 semi-features, 5 fast dash wins, Hales Corners, late models, started racing in 69 at Hales. He raced at Slinger, Wilmot, and Scram Ghost Tracks, third in Scram points, 1974 to 1980, and the list goes on from there for Ted Dolan. So we're very excited for our inductees this year on the first Saturday in November, and I know that you will be there.
Yeah, the first Saturday in November. And are tickets available yet, or should folks keep an eye out for that notification?
Yeah, we'll put it on the Facebook page, and we have something a little bit different this year. Our prices actually went down because we're not going to serve the hors d'oeuvres anymore this year. The board decided that it just didn't work out. We had too much food costs and too much left, and so it's just $25. So the price went down from last year. So.
Okay. Do you have a time frame? What time will it begin, and what time are the awards?
I believe the doors will open up at 4:30, and then probably somewhere between 6:30 and 7, we will start the ceremony.
Okay. And I know you guys do a great job keeping that program moving along. It's almost like we're putting on a race program with a curfew, but
well, kind of, sort of. I tell all the nominees that they have 6 minutes, to go in. We were all worried about the announcers that get inducted, that were going to be long-winded, and everybody was surprised that I was not, but I was actually under 6 minutes. But we have a shepherd's hook this year. We're going to just put you off the stage if you last longer than the 6 minutes.
Well, and again, I know you and I would both tell people, if you have never been to the Hall of Fame, you've got to go. It's unbelievable. All the history that is there. Of short track racing throughout southeastern Wisconsin and even northeastern Illinois a little bit, from Waukegan Speedway and some of the tracks down this neck of the woods, and it's just a fantastic thing. Plus the Founders Trophy is on display there, which the Short Track Hall of Fame graciously purchased the first year that we did the Founders race at Wilmot for the IRA Founders Night. And that the perennial trophy, the winner gets added every year, and then the trophy's back there at the hall, and that's really a cool thing. And we've got a lot of drivers that really appreciate that, and some of these traveling guys that have won it have stopped in just to see the trophy and with their name on it.
Yeah, it's not there quite yet. I got it from the Road America Safety Crew, and I haven't made it to the Hall of Fame in person yet. So the trophy is still sitting in my room here in the office. So it's not quite there, but it will be very soon.
Okay. Well,
I'll get it back there. I'm not going to keep it or anything, but I'll get it back there.
All right. It
was lost for a while. You said you gave it to somebody. That somebody said they didn't see it, so I finally got it though.
We almost had to have a congressional investigation for a while as to where the trophy went.
Yeah, exactly, but we've got it. It's in my possession, but it will get back to the Hall of Fame. By the way, if you're coming to the Hall of Fame, you got to check out. We have this multimedia. We call it the kiosk. It's got great information of all the inductees past. You can go back, and if you have a favorite driver, let's say you want to put in Gib Weiser, you put in Gib Weiser, his whole presentation from the induction ceremony, all the pictures are in this kiosk, just like anybody else. You want to see Dick Head from, the falls at Sheboygan Falls, or you can do that. Anybody you want to see, just punch it in the kiosk of your favorite driver. You don't have to go through all of it. You could just punch your favorite people in, and you're in there, I'm in there, and so, you just check out your favorite people.
Yeah, one other thing I need to ask you. When's the golf outing?
Oh, the golf outing. Wait, I can tell you. I don't have my sheet of paper, my cheat sheet, but I do have it on my calendar. You're gonna golf in it again? Are you?
We're putting, actually, the IRA's coming in. We've got a bunch of ringers. We may have like 3 teams.
Wow, that's fantastic here. Wow. Well, I'm still trying to find it on my calendar, but I will find it.
Dick thought it was going to be in September. Does that help you?
Yeah, that does help me. I thought it was like the 16th of September to be exact, and it's going to be at the Slinger, same place it was last year in Slinger.
Okay, what day of the week is that?
That is a Tuesday.
Tuesday, September 16th.
Tuesday, September 16th, and We're still looking for Hole sponsors. You want to sponsor Hole, get a nice little tag. It's only $100. You can contact Dick Malis. You can contact me or any one of the other board members that you might know. Brandon Ostrowski, Dick Carth, Mark, Elaine Miller. You can contact any one of us, and we'll set you up if you want to be a Hole sponsor.
All right, that sounds great. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. Any other events that are coming up soon, or are we going to be waiting until the winter time when you have the different gatherings there at the hall?
Yeah, we usually have the old time, the inductees gala in the middle of winter, and then we have also the Young Racer show coming up later in spring. Whatever, we'll keep you posted on our website or our Facebook page.
All right, sounds great. Well, Roger, always good to see you.
Good to
say
see
hello
you.
to Trish and the rest of the family.
And I'm sure the kids say hi to Uncle Mike as well.
All right. And if you happen to make it up to Plymouth on Saturday, I will see you there. Otherwise, we'll get together soon.
Absolutely. You take care.
You too. God bless.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Mike.
Roger.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Roger Miller with the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. And our last set of folks that help to get us on a program each and every week. Kaylee Burns of Revel Bell Salon in Kansasville, Midwest Motor Coach and Olson Transportation. Rob Olson does a great job helping the honor flight from Lake County get from North Chicago up to Mitchell Airport. And the next honor flight's going to be going out next week, August the 1st. They'll be leaving on Friday, August 1st and returning on Sunday, August 3rd. We'll have more information on that on the show next week, because if you've never seen that motorcade that takes them up or brings them back, that's a must-see, and it's great to honor those veterans. A-Main Apparel and Diecast, Garrett Tennyson and his family do a great job supporting our program. Thomas Guard IT do a great job as well. John Hatterline, attorney at law. And if you're looking for a place to get away from the heat, Cabins on the Lake. See Patty and Eddie up there in Friendship, Wisconsin at Cabins on the Lake, and they'll help you out. They don't have too many openings on the weekend, but they do have some openings during the week. So if you want to get a quick getaway, contact Cabins on the Lake. Okay, and we are now going to bring in one of our supporters from Jack's Helmets. Jack Eschbach is going to join us now. Jack, welcome to the program. We hope you enjoyed all of the libations and all of the snacks that we had for you there in the green room.
Wonderful.
And welcome to the program. Appreciate your support over the years here of the program and of everything that I've done with the car shows and that. But we wanted to get you on because you do a lot of really cool stuff. And I know this might be a curveball to you. I'm just hoping that you have at least one helmet somewhere close by that you can show our listeners and viewers out there what your work looks like.
Let me get one. Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate the call. I just finished a helmet for Little Civ for Colin Civia. I got it right here.
Alrighty, and Colin was a busy guy. I mean, he got a lot of airtime down there at Eldora. And that's Colin Civia is going to be running a 1175 IRA Lightning Sprint, 1175 Sports Complex and Eatery IRA Lightning Sprint. And but this last week, Jack, and I think you probably saw him as much as I did too when we were watching the coverage from Eldora. He was pitting for a number of the big boys down there from the World of Outlaws. He I guess he started out with Bill Baylog, and then he ended up with several other teams.
Yeah, he's a very personable young man. Great kid. Everybody likes him. He's witty. He's got a lot of jokes. He can take them as well as he dishes them out. Great family. I've painted quite a few helmets for Colin and his dad, Jim. Just enjoy the camaraderie of the whole group. Big Jim's a great guy. You got Bozo. That whole group over there is just fantastic to talk to.
And now, how did Jack Eschbach get involved in painting helmets?
Well, it's funny. I started painting helmets back in 1983. I was a young guy. I was 15 years old. We used to help a guy that raced midgets, Marty Davis. He had an old beat-up helmet. I was putting tear-offs on it in the infield at Angel Park. And I said to him, "Hey, Marty, do you mind if I take this home and paint it?" And, he could have cared less what it looked like. So I took it home and I put about, I don't know, a gallon's worth of Bondo in it to fix it, and said I took a whole week painting it, painted it up, and it came out pretty nice actually. So I delivered it to him. We went to the races that week. Danny Borst came by and looked at it. Randy Fiskus. I ended up generating quite a few helmet paint jobs that year through the guys in the midget rinks up at Angel Park. That parlayed into me painting helmets for all the UTEC brothers. They were racing mini sprints, and then Jimmy was doing the sprint car modified stuff. So I did quite a few helmets for those guys. And Jimmy UTEC has been a good friend of mine since we were, 8 years old. So it was kind of, we just moved into that. But I used to help him also wrench a little bit here and there. And he's a great guy, as John Reidenbach had said. But the helmet paint job thing, yeah, I just do it as a hobby. I'm not a professional. I don't own a body shop. I do everything out of my garage. Just really, I enjoyed art. I've always been an artistic person, and it's a way for me to, to showcase my work. And I feel like I'm getting better every time I paint one, because I'm learning some tricks, from some of the professional friends that I know that do paint on, they paint helmets, and I reach out to them for questions, ideas. So that's how I got started. It was just on a whim.
And did Jack Eschbach ever race, or were you just always a pit guy?
No, I raced go-karts for almost 30 years. I did some national level karting, but mostly most of my karting was done at the Badger Kart Series track, in Dousman.
And as far as helmets, I know you've done Bill Baylog's helmet. You've done a number of the sprint car drivers with the IRA, a number of wingless drivers, a number of lightning sprints, and you just about every division that has raced at Wilmot or other area tracks, you've probably done at least one helmet that's racing in that division. Any quote unquote big names that you've ended up doing helmets for?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of stuff for some guys that do the national karting, scene. Guy out of Tennessee, I've been painting helmets for him. We talk about big guys. How about Danny Borst? Look at all the championships he's had. Or, Baylog too. He's my biggest supporter right now, the biggest name guy that I got. But yeah, I'll paint anybody's helmets. I don't really care what they race. I have a set price. I don't try to per se gouge people on pricing. I'm pretty reasonable, I feel. And I just whoever calls and wants it done, if I can fit it into the schedule, I gladly take it from them. And my turnaround time is anywhere from 3 to 5 days if I'm not swamped. 2 weeks is max usually for me. And like I said, a lot of these professional helmet painters, they're booked a year out, so I'm always open. I always write on my post that the bench is empty. So that's just how I tell people if they want to give me a call, I can usually fit them in and get it done relatively quickly. Now, in painting the helmets, I do partner up with Matt Myers from M3. He's very good with the decals. He does all of my decal work. Great guy. But yeah, it's really just a hobby. I've always just done this as a hobby.
Well, and Matt's also done a lot of the signage at Wilmot and a lot of the race cars, and of course the Bodycraft pace truck too is also his wrap that he did for the Maglios. So when Jack isn't painting helmets, what does Jack do for a living?
Well, I retired last year, and at the end of May, I worked at Abbott Laboratories for 30 plus years. So it was just a nice thing to finally retire. My wife is an educator. She was a school teacher for 34 years. She retired at the same time. So we're just enjoying each other's company, doing things around the house, a lot of yard work, a lot of honey-do list stuff, that type thing. But racing is definitely my passion. I like golf too. But yeah, if I could go to a race every day of the week, I would do it. And I don't care if it's asphalt, dirt, drag racing. I like it all.
There you go. You kind of sound like me too. So, folks, if they want to get in touch with you to have you do a helmet for them, how do they get in touch with you? Go ahead and give them contact info.
Sure. If you want to look me up, I'm on Facebook under Jack's Helmet Designs, or Instagram, same thing, Jack's Helmet Designs. I'm always mostly I go to many of the local tracks, but you'll see me a lot at Wilmot in the pits. I give you my number. If you got something, just send me a text and I'll get back to you right away usually. But yeah, one thing too, Mike, I would like to say that I've been doing this little program, my own program. I like to walk around the pits and find somebody that I think is well deserving of a custom paint job, somebody that doesn't, per se have the money to pay for one. So I walk around the pits, and every year I've been picking at least one person to do a free paint job for. And boy, I can't understate how appreciative these guys have been that I've done those helmets for. So again, I'm not trying to get rich off of it. I just like to do it. It's just a hobby, and I love to hear my name being called across the loudspeaker. It happens quite a bit because it seems like I've done every wingless guy out there, and I'm trying to break into some other genres, like the karting stuff. I've done stuff for a lot of the guys in the Badger series too. But yeah, if anybody's interested, give me a jingle.
All right. Well, Jack, we appreciate your time, appreciate your support, like I said earlier, of myself personally, of the program and of the car shows. And we'll look forward to seeing you this weekend. Wilmot not racing until Monday. So we're sure we'll see you Monday at the World of Outlaw Late Models, and maybe see us Saturday at Plymouth. Who knows where we'll run into you at.
I'll be somewhere. Yep. Thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Again, that was Jack from Jack's Helmets. And our final guest is going to join us now. He's probably the furthest one away. I don't know. Missouri, we're going to have to kind of see. Chaplain Chris Gould. And Chris is the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars chaplain. He and I met at Wilmot a couple of weeks ago. And Chris, welcome to the program. And where are you joining us from tonight?
Thanks for having me, Mike. I am in Butte, Montana, which is, for most of you, is a long ways away.
I think so. I think you got the longest zoom in tonight. So first of all, I appreciate it. As we mentioned off mic, I very much appreciated the opportunity when you had me fill in for you at Wilmot for the drivers' meetings for both the World of Outlaws and the Wisconsin Wingless. For their prayer. Tell folks a little bit about how Chris Gould got involved in being a chaplain and what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put a little disclaimer up front. I do not work for World Racing Group or the World of Outlaws. We are volunteers, and we're funded in any way. So just want to put that little disclaimer. But how did I get into racing? So I grew up in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, kind of just started going to the mud bogs down at Hub City, and just really have always loved anything that's loud and shiny, if you know what I mean. Just love racing and stuff like that. And so fast forward till I moved up to Atlanta area, and my first really dirt track was Dixie Motor Speedway in Woodstock, Georgia. A facility that was shut down for a couple years and has since reopened. So an awesome facility if you're in the Atlanta area. And then when I moved up to Montana, somehow, and Mike, I don't know, you tell me, but somehow they found out I was a redneck, and kind of figured that I might like racing, and I got invited. So I'm with an organization called Racing with Jesus Ministries. You can check us out at rwjm.com. But I got invited to Volusia Speedway down in Florida, and really just to kind of check it out and see what the chaplains do. When we were there, of course, they have several of the series running over a couple of weeks. And we were there. I just really fell in love with the sprint cars. And that was 3 years ago. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty new in this sport.
Yeah, well, you've been following them now and traveling around. And if folks want to help you and your ministry, how do they get in touch with you? Where can they make contributions? What can they do to help you further your mission, your ministry?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So as one of your earlier guests says, it costs a lot of money to race. It costs a lot of money to go to races. And so there's about 16 other chaplains across the country that have helped us have 100% coverage with the World Outlaws Sprint Car Series. I look total this year probably to make around 30 to 35 races, maybe a little bit more, which is only about a third of what we do. But yes, if you want to get in touch with me, I don't mind giving my email out. Give me an email. Shoot me an email. And we can talk about how you want to support. But my email is chrisgould88@yahoo.com. So that's CHRISGOULD and then the number 88@yahoo.com.
Okay. And we want to touch on this. We are running short on time here a little bit, and we will definitely have you back on with us again sometime, before we're done with our podcast for the season. What has been the most challenging thing that you've had to do with your ministry thus far?
Do you mean personally or a situation that I've ran into?
A situation that you've run into at the track, or possibly with a driver who's been very seriously injured or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to give out his name, obviously, but a couple of years ago at Grand Forks, there was a gentleman that had some fuel pump issues or whatever it was, and he caught fire, and that was pretty rough. And just going to the emergency room with him and his family and spending the night in the emergency room, going to the next track the next day. And because of the heat, one of the track workers fell out. And so went to the hospital with them. And so that one weekend, being in the hospital for that long, we're kind of one of those services like the firemen, I'm really glad that the firemen are there, but I hope we never have to use them. And
right.
That was a tough situation. Yeah.
Well, and we had talked off